What's going on, GW2 community? Welcome back to another Guild Wars 2 build video. My name is Ultra Runner, and before we jump into the build, if you are new to the channel, we make new videos every week with a focus on builds for sPvP, World vs. World, and Open World. If this is something that interests you, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing, liking, or commenting. Do you like moving around the map fast? Check. Do you like dealing huge burst damage in a short amount of time? Check. Do you want to win your 1v1s? Check. This Power Daredevil build is amazing at dealing burst damage, along with being really good in 1v1 situations because of the excellent mobility, interrupts, and stealth. Your job is to secure kills, and you can do this either ranged or melee. For best success, make sure you are staying close to a teammate at all times. Use your interrupts as often as possible and focus the enemy until they go down. This is a really fun build to play with a medium skill cap that can shine even at the top levels of PvP. Alright, let's get into the Power Daredevil build. Let's start with the weapons. On your ranged weapons, you are using dual pistols. You are a ranged assassin. Let's start with Black Powder. Black Powder is super powerful. You are blinding the enemy, so they're going to miss their next outgoing attack, and you are going to make yourself invisible for 3 seconds. Headshot dazes the enemy. It interrupts their abilities, so they have to hit their abilities again, so that delays their damage output, and it really messes up their flow when they're trying to kill you. And then Unload, this is where your burst damage is coming from. This will hit the enemy anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 every time you use Unload, and you can spam this, and let me show you. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, you just leveled an enemy for 20 grand with just that ability in 2 seconds. So keep that in mind. Use that as often as possible. Your Bola shot, that gives them vulnerability. It increases your damage, and it immobilizes the enemy for almost 2 seconds. And then you have your auto attack here, which is really strong. The vital shot is hitting usually anywhere between 1100 and 1400 every auto attack. And then your sneak attack is hitting for about 4,000 to 5,000. So every time you go invisible, when you're invisible, hit your sneak attack here first, because that's a big burst right there. And then jump into your Unload, spam that off, and it's really unlikely that your enemy is going to live through that. On top of using Swipe, so you're going to swipe over to the enemy, you're going to daze them, you're going to gain Fury, Swiftness, and Might. So you're going to gain all of that, going to daze them, interrupt them, you're going to interrupt them with a headshot. Black Powder making you stealth, you are becoming insanely obnoxious to the enemy while bursting them down with damage. Really powerful ranged weapon here. What are we using on the melee? We are using Dagger Pistol. We went over the pistol. We have the pistol in the offhand again back here, but we have the dagger. Now, I use the dagger a lot when I know the enemy is around 25%, and here's why. So, Shadow Shot hits really hard on the enemy, usually for around 4,000 or 5,000 per hit. And you shadow step to the enemy for 900 meters. It's almost impossible for the enemy to get away from you. So you are hitting them crazily hard, and they can't get away. You're shadow stepping to them. And then on top of that, when they're really low, if you hit Heartseeker, it's over. This is the kill shot right here. So keep that in mind. When they are ready to go down, and they have a sliver of health left, you just nail this and they're done. They're over. So here is your auto attack, Double Strike, Wild Strike, Lotus Strike. They hit pretty good. You got the backstab here for when you are stealth. When you are stealth, always go to your auto attack first, and then go to your big damage, which on your melee is Shadow Shot, and then back to your range, that is Unload. So keep that in mind. Alright, let's go over our utility skills. In the heal slot, we are using Withdraw. You get a heal for 5,300, you remove conditions, and you evade backwards, all at the same time instantly, so there is no delay on this utility skill. Blinding Powder, what this does is it stealths you and it breaks stun. So there's a couple use case scenarios there that you can use this for, and it's pretty quick too. It's a 1/4 second, and it's on a 40-second timer. Now, Roll of Initiative, You evade backwards to regenerate initiative. So you're regenerating 6 initiative, and you're evading backwards, and you're breaking stuns. So you have a couple of break stuns here. Impairing daggers. I use impairing daggers and dagger storm if I'm in a hairy situation and you're putting out a tremendous amount of damage here with both of these skills. So try to use this when you are taking down an enemy, or if there are many enemies around you, because this ability right here can do a tremendous amount of AoE damage. So if you are on a node trying to get it, hit this. So you can use this offensively or defensively if you're trying to catch up to an enemy, or if you're trying to get away, because you have 100% movement speed increase. But with impairing daggers, you hit this, you slow the enemy, you immobilize them. So you have a lot of synergy with these two. You can do a lot of different things here, and you're gonna, as you're playing this build and you're going out there and you're dropping the enemies and whatnot, you're going to figure out when to use these and when not to use them. But most of the time, I'm typically using both of these together. Let's take a look at some of the stats. So every time you hit swipe, your critical chance jumps to at least 76%, and your critical damage jumps to at least 229%. And it's going even higher than that, and I'll show you where in the professions part of the build. But before we get there, let's see what we're wearing. We are wearing Marauder. We are using Rune of Divinity for all of the stat increases and a little bit of extra health. Then we got Sigil of Venom, Sigil of Intelligence, Sigil of Exploitation, and Sigil of Opportunity. Alright, let's go over the professions part of the build. Let's start with Daredevil. Now in the first column we have Marauder's Resilience. What this does, it reduces damage to you within a 360 meter radius, and it increases your vitality on a percentage of your power. And we have a pretty good high percentage of power, so our health is almost at 21,000, which is pretty good, not too bad. Now in the second column we have Havoc Specialist. What this does is, as you are losing your endurance, it's increasing your damage, and it can increase it by 5% per block missing. So that's a 15% increase on your strike damage. And then Dash, this basically makes you a little snake running all over the place. So as soon as you hit your dash, you are zigzagging all over the place, and you have permanent 100% 33% movement speed increase. It's up all the time. As long as you're dashing here and there, you will have it the entire match. Alright, let's go over Trickery now. In the first column we have Thrill of the Crime. Every time you steal, or in this case it's swipe, it's the same exact thing, you gain Fury, Swiftness, and Might to you and your allies in a 360 meter radius. Hence, that's the reason, one of the reasons I say always stay with an ally, because you're going to give your ally all of these buffs, and they're going to have them up almost all the time. Now in the second column you have Trickster. So what this does is it reduces the recharge rate of all of your tricks, and you gain a condition removal. So we have 3 tricks going. We have Withdraw, Roll of Initiative, and Dagger Storm. So it makes sense to go with that. And in the third column we have Sleight of Hand. So Stealing also dazes the target and reduces the recharge of Steal. So we have that now on a 17-second timer. And last but not least, let's go over Critical Strikes. This is where your damage goes through the roof, and this is why. So in the first column, we're going with Twin Fangs. This is an increase of your critical damage and your critical chance. Hugely powerful skill here. So 7% damage increase on crit and crit chance. In the second column, we have Practice Tolerance. You are gaining ferocity based on a percentage of precision. 15% actually, really powerful. And last but not least, we have No Quarter. Landing a critical hit while under the effects of Fury increases the duration of Fury. Gain increased ferocity while under the effects of Fury. You will have Fury all the time. So your critical damage will be upwards of 255% almost the entire match. You are a hard-hitting assassin. There you have it, friends. That is the Power Daredevil build for sPvP. Hang on and check out some of the gameplay so you can get a bird's eye view of how deadly this assassin can be. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Enjoy the build, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.